Okay, good.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Starting in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the praise be to Him, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may the peace and blessings be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah, we get a chance to, another wonderful opportunity to benefit from one of our guest speakers and to shed light for our community with wonderful pieces of wisdom. Tonight we have Sheikh Jihad Saafir. He's the Imam for Masjid Ibadullah in Los Angeles, California. Just a little background information. He spent, he did extensive studies with the shuyukh. His studies was in Arabic, and now he's currently finishing up his graduate studies in Islamic Studies and Leadership in Claremont Graduate University in California. He's been very active in Southern California. He's actually one of the Shura members for Southern California. So, and he gets involved with a lot of the communities. And so he's also doing something for his community to try to get involved, just like us. So, alhamdulillah, he got an opportunity to come visit us last night. I mean, just to let you know, this is a brother who he came late last night, and he spent with two other brothers up until 2 a.m. just to know about the community and how we can help the community. So, alhamdulillah, this is a good brother to have. So he's going to be talking about very important topics tonight, and inshallah, I hope you can benefit. It's going to go up until, let's say, 9, and then from there we're going to start the Q&A. We'll start with the sisters, if they have any questions, and there's a microphone set up for you guys. So just giving you a heads up, okay? And so, inshallah, please, I hope we all benefit from the jihad, inshallah. Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The brother said I was up till 2 a.m. We were up till 2 a.m. so I need more energy inshallah to keep me up. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. So alhamdulillah, it's a privilege for me, just to visit here. It's always important to get out and see other communities. I know for myself, I'm into really community building. So this is what my thesis is on in graduate school, is community building in the inner city. So it's always interesting to go out and see other communities and see what other communities are doing. And I would say, honestly, I'm impressed with this community and the diversity and the willingness really to grow. Just talking to a few of the brothers in the community, people want to grow and they want to expand and do more. And I think this is the important message that we want to get out, is that from studying communities in America, the thing that we find is that we have to move beyond this masjid, this beautiful masjid, sitting in the middle of the neighborhood, really taking up space. But the masjid should really benefit the community outside. It should benefit the community outside. So what a lot of the masajid are they don't know where to go from here. So a lot of the masajid, they build these beautiful masjid, and they're saying, where do we go from here? So we've started Project Islah, and Project Islah is based on, of course, Islah means what? Anyone? It means fixing, restoring, okay? And it means to rejuvenate, bring energy back into something. And, we give the example of like a 59 Chevy, okay? And it's all broken up, and then you get the car and you restore it. So you give it a new paint job, and it looks good as new. So you put a new engine in it, and it looks good as new. So this is the whole thing of Project Islah. really restoring communities. And in Los Angeles, so I'm currently the imam at an inner city masjid in Los Angeles called Masjid Ibadatullah. Has anybody ever heard of Masjid Ibadatullah? Okay, one person. That's it? Okay, so we're not famous. I guess we're famous in Los Angeles, but not around the world. But alhamdulillah, my father, he started this community in 1986. And, you know, my father, he fell ill. So at that particular time, when he became sick, the people kind of looked towards me. And for myself, I really lost sight even of, you know, my religion at that particular time. You know, so I was really caught up doing the stuff that a lot of the young people do. And I really stopped even participating like I should in the masjid, you know. But at this time, my father was sick and people kind of looked towards me for leadership. And I looked behind myself and there was nobody else behind. So I said, well, okay, I'll go ahead and step up. So I began studying and everything else. So I ended up studying the Arabic language and, you know, fiqh and tajweed, the things that I need, the basics that I needed to really be over Muslim communities. So today I'm an imam of Masjid Ibadatullah, and then also I work at a prison, CIW. So CIW is a woman's prison. You know, don't ask me how I ended up in this situation, but just make dua for me, inshallah. But for the most part, it's a woman's prison. And for me, it's changed my life helping people in need. You know, it's a beautiful situation just to see the transformative ability of Islam. You know, when you have individuals who, they were on drugs, they were some of the most ruthless, you know, what they would call killers, okay? They were gangsters and everything else. They were, you know, their personalities, society really counted them out. And to see individuals, for example, there's an individual, her name is Yasmin, okay? So she changed it. Her name was Mookie. So I'm kind of putting a little twist on it, so you guys don't have the exact name, but it was close to Mookie. So imagine this individual changing, okay? Changing from having one personality to accepting Islam, and for me, it changes me. Just to see individuals who are willing to change in such a way. You know, and I want to really encourage you all to get involved in these environments, okay? Because sometimes we get so comfortable in the masjid that we don't come outside of the masjid, you know, but we need to get outside of the masjid and engage individuals as such, okay? So let's move to the next slide, inshallah. So there's a blue Camry. Okay, so there's a blue Camry, okay, and it's blocking. Okay, it's in the parking lot. Okay, so I would suggest whoever has a blue Camry, please go move your blue Camry. Okay, so nobody got. Okay. Okay. So in some of our studies, we found that 70% of converts leave Islam within the first 3 years. Okay, so this is Professor Ilyas Yunus. And also he came up with that 70% of converts leave Islam, period. Okay? So how important is this for us to know as a Muslim community, this? When we see 75% of converts leave Islam within the first 3 years, are we doing what we can do as a community to accommodate those, the new shahadas? Are we? Can we do more? This is the question I have to you all. Can we do more? There's a lot more that we can do. Okay? So just to explain this 75%, let's move to the next slide. Okay? So we want to see who's dropping out. So the first largest group were those who accepted Islam in the prison. Okay? Just to give a statistic, Islam is the fastest growing religion within the prison facility, but it's the most underserved. For example, when I go into work, usually on Thursday evening, Monday evening, and Thursday evening, when I go in the evening, the lobby is full Christian volunteers, and they have their t-shirts, you know, letting people know that they're volunteering. Jewish volunteers. But there is not too many Muslims, and it's been very difficult. This has been my challenge as a chaplain, to get Muslims to really come in and volunteer within the prison. Because the first thing that we think of is what we see on the television. Okay, we see these closing bars, and we see these ruthless personalities, and we lose courage. And as Muslims, this is what I want to instill in us, is that we have to gain courage in order to go into these different neighborhoods and serve these different individuals. Even growing up in Los Angeles, I learned the courage thing a long time ago. You know, my mother taught me courage. I can recall I was around 11 or 12 years old, and I was using the phone. I was at this phone booth. I have no idea who I was calling. I can't even recall what I was doing on this phone booth. But I remember there were two individuals around my age. And one individual came up to me and asked me the question, "Where are you from?" Okay? So what does that mean? Of course, in that particular context, it means, what gang do you represent? Okay? I didn't know what to say. At that second, the police hit the corner. The guy, they showed me a gun. Imagine little kids they showed me a gun. "Where are you from?" The police hit the corner, and they said, "We'll see you later." So alhamdulillah, I thank Allah for the popos that day, or the police that day. So alhamdulillah. But I went to my mother, and my mother, she said, next time they ask you this, tell them you're a Muslim. Okay? Tell them you're a Muslim. I said, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is really going to work. But the next time I saw them, I was in a store right next door to the masjid. And the individuals, they came back in, and they approached me again. You know, again, he said, "Where are you from?" And where you from, it doesn't mean what country you're from or what city. It means what gang you're from. And I told them right then, I'm Muslim. Okay, I'm Muslim. And they left me alone. So at that moment, we see that there were individuals who came before. Many of the early Muslims in America, they really laid a stamp in these neighborhoods, to where you wear a kufi, walking down one of these neighborhoods, they're not going to mess with you. Okay? Even some of the sisters who wear hijab, nobody messes with them because they know the Muslim. But we have to gain this courage back. I think the Muslims now, we have been hidden in the masjid, and we need to get back into these environments. And this is real dawah. Really getting into these environments and helping people. Okay? So we have the second largest group, were the ex-wives of Muslims. So these are individuals who married non-Muslims, and they eventually become Muslim, and then eventually they leave Islam. So are we serving these individuals, these ex-wives of Muslims? Are we able to go behind these brothers who just leave these sisters? Are we able to go and continue our congregation? So we have the third largest group, where the drifters, floaters, and transients, those who are trying something out. So you have some individuals who, they may be Buddhist 1 month, then they move on, and they may be into another religion 1 month, they try out Islam for a month, and then they're just drifters, okay? Then you have children of non-participating Muslim parents, okay? So these are the groups that are dropping out. And we have to develop programs that are designed really to help these groups. So let's go to the next slide. So reflection. So these are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Are we taking care of our people? Okay? I need feedback. Are we taking care of our people as a Muslim community? Be honest.
No, we do.
No. Is the masjid equipped to accommodate new Muslims and Muslims who drop out? Is the masjid equipped to accommodate individuals as such? Honesty. No. Is the masjid a safe space? This space seems pretty safe to me, but I don't know, I'm visiting here. But is the masjid a safe space? Do you feel comfortable coming into the masjid, especially as young people? And I tell you, to be honest, this concept of kindness, okay? This concept of kindness is very important in our masjid spaces. So growing up, I wasn't always teaching the khutbah, I wasn't always doing this, daughters doing this class or whatever. I remember coming into the masjid with earrings in my ear and my pants sagging. And my father would introduce me as his role model. Sounds crazy, huh? My father would introduce me as his role model. He knew I was going through a phase, and eventually I would come out. The most important thing at that particular time for the young people is not quoting the hadith or an ayat of Quran, but to show them love and to show them how much you really care and you're concerned with them, okay? And not everybody was like that, but my father, alhamdulillah, he had some foresight on that, in that he would introduce me, and I look back on it now, I'm saying, why would he introduce me as his role model? And I'm sitting up here with earrings in my ear and my pants sagging, okay? But now you see the wisdom in it. Because now I'm at the masjid giving a khutbah. So he was patient with me. So we have to develop some patience, and we have to make the masjid a safe space. Okay? So the masjid should avoid these three characteristics. Boring. Okay, so some Muslims have lost interest in the masjid because they consider it a waste of time. If you ask many of the young people, are we ready to go to the masjid? Many of them like, no, I have Facebook. I have these other things. No, I'm not ready to go to the masjid. The masjid is in danger. We don't want the masjid to enter into this realm of becoming boring, irrelevant. When the masjid becomes irrelevant, the inability to deal with real life issues has plagued the masjid environment. So this issue what we were talking about today, just sweeping things under the rug. Sweeping things under the rug. No, when issues come about, talk about them. Have dialogue on them. For example, in my community now, there's been a problem with marriage. There hasn't been much marriage taking place. There's more, we go to more janazas than nikahs, okay? So we go to more, we attend Salatul Janazah pretty often, but a marriage and a walima, we don't attend these often. So something is happening in the community. So now we have to speak to the people. Now we have to have conversation about it. So we have a conversation taking place when I get back to Los Angeles. I think in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about gender relations. And we had a conversation before where the sisters were upset with the brothers. Okay? The sisters were upset with the brothers, and they said the brothers go back home and they want to marry the sisters from back home. Or the American brothers, they marry sisters they meet at their universities, at their jobs. But they overlooked the sisters at the masjid. They overlooked the sisters at the masjid. Do we talk about these issues? Do we confront these issues when we're faced with them? Do we? Do we? Do we need to? Yes, we need to face these issues. So if we don't, the masjid becomes irrelevant. Also, the masjid can become intimidating, trying to produce a community of Abu Bakrs and Umars. Okay? When the masjid becomes intimidating, I remember just studying tajweed and fiqh, and I just got a little bit. I come back in my community, and you almost look down upon the people who don't have that. And you want people, I told a brother I was studying with a brother who studied in Mauritania, and we memorized some of the books of fiqh. And I came back to the community, and I said, you all have to memorize these books. And they said, you get out of here right now, okay? So this is me coming in, trying to bring people up to this level of Abu Bakr and Umar, trying to produce individuals like this. No, in our communities, we have to begin to meet people where they are and make them better people that they are, instead of trying to make them into other people. We have to begin to be patient with one another, okay? You don't want to create an environment. When you create an environment, when it's based off of this high standard, then people develop two faces. They develop a masjid face. That face you come to the masjid, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And then you leave the masjid, what's up, dog? What's up this? What's up that? Okay? You develop two faces. The people develop two faces. So we want an environment of authenticity. Okay? We don't want the standard to be this high. Okay? So let's change the slide. And this is based on a program that we do, and it's for the whole day. So I'm trying to cover some. I'm almost done with these slides, inshallah. But I'm kind of rushing through it. So we have lead attendance. So these are the two things that the masjid should focus on. The attendance of new Muslims and young Muslims. Okay? It will tell you how your future is going to be as a community. Okay? So if you don't have many people taking the Shahada, we should worry as a community. If you don't have many youth in the community, we should worry as a community. So we should pay attention to these two groups of individuals, new Muslims and young Muslims. They indicate the future of the community. And it says, unfortunately, when the masjid is irrelevant, the first out of the door are usually the young. And the decrease in young has significant implications for the future of the masjid. Okay? So we should really focus on these two groups, new Muslims and young Muslims. Okay? So it says right here, we have this of the masjid, depersonalization of the masjid. So the question is, do people feel lonelier going in or leaving the masjid? Next slide. So the masjid can become like a Walmart. When you come in and you get your product and you leave. No hospitality, nobody to greet you. Okay? I'll give a story. There was a sister in one of our reports. There's a sister, she came into the masjid and she fell ill. Okay? So she attended that masjid for a while. She fell ill and then she passed away. Okay? She was sick for almost a year. No one noticed. Because she would come in the masjid, no one even bothered to get her name or to get her story, to hear more from her. And she was in the hospital. Her family told us that she was in the hospital for a year without no one going to visit. Okay? As a community, we should look at that and say, no, everyone who comes to the masjid, they should be greeted. Okay? And then we have a solution for this. We shouldn't just walk into the masjid, and this was problematic during the month of Ramadan. I went around lecturing at different communities, and I took a group of young people. So when the young people, they would leave some of the masajid, and they would say, no one even talked to me. And if you talk to many of the African Americans, the first thing that they think when nobody talks to them, what do you think? Racism. It's the first thing. Because we were going into the masajid, and they would go in, no one would greet them. Is this a part of the sunnah? No. No, assalamu alaikum. Okay? They would just go in, and there's many people who come into the masjid, and they're lonely. Even at the masjid, they're lonely. And we have to figure out how we're going to accommodate individuals as such. So the depersonalization of the masjid. It says people can leave the masjid due to loneliness, the feeling, especially in large congregations, that no one knows or cares whether they are there. And some Muslims leave the masjid with no meaningful human contact. Okay? So it's our responsibility to greet individuals in the masjid. It's our responsibility to greet individuals in the masjid. And it says, when people drop out, no one notices. Okay, so we have a solution for that, inshallah. Correction without consideration. Okay? And I will ask my brother to stand up. Okay, so this has become problematic in the masjid. Many from the convert community, and I've heard stories where they come into the masjid and perhaps a sister will come in and the first thing, without giving them salams, they would go, your neck is uncovered. Okay? Or imagine if a brother is making salah, he's faced the wrong direction. And this is a test for you all. So pretend as if you're facing the Qibla this way. Okay? So how do we respond to that? What's the first thing that we do? The first thing, automatically, you know us. We don't know him or nothing. Okay? How should we deal with this situation? Honestly, Because we have to change the way we do things. I think the story here is on a sister. She visited the masjid. She came into the masjid and her feet were uncovered. Okay? Her feet were uncovered. A sister comes to her and throws a scarf over her feet and walks away. What is that? What is that? She says, I'm not going back to that masjid. I'm not going back to that masjid. So, oh, stand up, we're not done. So somebody talk to me, how do we deal with this situation? Because we need to change the way we deal with individuals. We really need to have be sensitive towards the other individuals.
Communication. I can probably like acknowledge that the brother is doing something. I tell, Assalamu alaikum, brothers, like this is not the correct direction for your prayer to be accepted. Like kindly acknowledge. Like,
so that's the first thing we do. Brother, your prayer is not accepted. Your prayer is not accepted. You know, especially the convert community is real sensitive. You know, because we have to develop, you know, really a heart that's really understanding. Okay, the convert community is really, they have heightened sensitivity. They just come in the masjid, and the person approaches them and says, "Your prayer is not going to be accepted."
No, to be accepted, you need that to be at the right direction. That direction is this way.
Okay, because you know, people, if they hear that statement, they embellish it. He told me my prayer is not going to be accepted. Okay.